Breaking news out of the Bay Area: the Golden State Warriors have just made a massive move that could completely change their season. Cameron Johnson, one of the most reliable and underrated forwards in the NBA, is officially joining the Warriors. This is the type of signing fans have been begging for: a high IQ, sharpshooting, defensive-minded wing who can fit perfectly next to Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. After weeks of struggling with depth, injuries, and inconsistent rotations, the Warriors may have finally landed the perfect piece to push them back into championship contention. Could Cameron Johnson be the missing link the Warriors have needed all along? Stick around, because this game-changing addition could reshape Golden State's entire playoff run. The Golden State Warriors have just made a move that could completely redefine their playoff ambitions and finally patch a critical weakness in their lineup. Breaking news has confirmed that Cameron Johnson is heading to the Bay Area, and fans everywhere are reacting with excitement, relief, and optimism. This isn't just another mid-season acquisition or a filler move to keep the rotation fresh. This is a powerful, calculated decision to bring in a high IQ, tough, versatile forward who can shoot the lights out, defend multiple positions, and thrive in the Warriors system. After weeks of rumors, speculation, and mounting pressure on the front office to deliver support to Stephen Curry and the aging core, Golden State may have finally landed the right man. Cameron Johnson, who made his name as one of the key rising stars in Phoenix and later proved his worth even more in Brooklyn, has now arrived in San Francisco to wear the blue and gold. At 6'8", with a silky smooth three-point shot and the ability to guard both wings and stretch fours, Johnson addresses several of the Warriors' most glaring weaknesses in one fell swoop. He brings size, spacing, and switchable defense, something Golden State has been missing since their last championship run. And perhaps most importantly, he brings composure and playoff experience, something that can't be underestimated as the Warriors fight to stay in title contention. Let's be honest, this Warriors team has been teetering between two eras. On one hand, you have Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson trying to squeeze out one more championship run before the window finally closes. On the other, you've got a younger core that includes names like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and Tracy Jackson-Davis trying to make their mark and prove they belong. What the Warriors have lacked is a connector, someone who bridges the experience gap while still having enough youth and energy to run with the next generation. Cameron Johnson could be that exact piece. He's 28, just hitting his prime, and has already been to the NBA Finals. He knows what it takes to win, and he's hungry to prove he belongs in the league's elite tier of forwards. This move doesn't just improve the team on paper, it makes a statement. The front office has heard the criticism. They know that wasting Curry's final prime years would be a tragedy. They know that another first-round exit would signal the end of a dynasty. By bringing in Cameron Johnson, they're telling the league, Golden State is not done. They're not folding. They're pushing all their chips in. They're giving Steph the help he needs. And they're not just doing it for this season, they're trying to keep the championship window cracked open just a little bit longer. Johnson's fit within Steve Kerr's system is almost too perfect. He's a spot-up shooter who thrives off ball movement. He knows how to play within a structured offensive scheme, doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective, and makes smart, instinctual cuts to get open. That kind of player next to Curry, who draws so much attention, is dangerous. If Johnson can hit at the clip he did in Phoenix, where he shot over 40% from three, defenses will have no choice but to pick their poison. Leave him open, and he'll bury threes all night. Close out too hard, and he has the footwork and IQ to pump fake and make the right pass or cut. On defense, Johnson brings length and lateral quickness. He's not the flashiest defender, but he's effective. He uses his size to contest shots, switches comfortably on pick and rolls, and understands team schemes. In other words, he won't be a liability on that end, something the Warriors have struggled with when playing some of their younger, more inexperienced wings. His presence will also allow Draymond Green to rest more and avoid foul trouble, which is absolutely critical during high-stakes games. Another under-the-radar reason this move matters is leadership and professionalism. Johnson is known as a locker room favorite, someone who works hard, doesn't complain about his role, and sets a tone for effort and discipline. That kind of presence can do wonders in a locker room that's been trying to rebuild chemistry after a few rocky seasons of internal drama and role confusion. Johnson doesn't bring ego, he brings work ethic. And that's exactly what the Warriors need. Now let's talk about the financials and implications. Johnson isn't cheap. He signed a significant contract extension with the Nets, and bringing him in meant moving some pieces around. The Warriors likely had to part with either picks or depth players, but the front office clearly decided the value was worth it. You don't often get a player of Johnson's caliber who fits your team this well and is still young enough to contribute for years. This isn't just a rental, it's an investment in the present and the future. And speaking of the future, this move also sends a message to other potential free agents and trade targets. The Warriors are still an attractive destination. They're willing to make moves. They're committed to surrounding their core with talent. And if this move pays off, don't be surprised if more quality players want to join the ride. The Warriors' culture of winning, combined with fresh energy from guys like Johnson, could be exactly what revives this dynasty and inspires a new wave of success. Of course, this raises the question, where does Johnson fit in the rotation? Expect him to slide into the starting lineup or be the first man off the bench depending on matchups. His flexibility is a coach's dream. Need more spacing? Play him with Steph and Clay. Need more defense? Slot him next to Draymond and Wiggins. Want to run small ball? He can play the 4 and stretch the floor. His versatility gives Steve Kerr more options than he's had in a long time, and that's going to be critical in the playoffs when matchups get tight and every possession counts. There's also the intangible impact momentum. When a team makes a move like this, it energizes the fanbase. It boosts morale in the locker room. And most importantly, it tells everyone involved that the organization is serious. No more waiting. No more excuses. The Warriors are going for it. That kind of momentum can carry a team through rough patches and inspire the best from every player. Let's not forget what happened the last time the Warriors made a bold midseason move. Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Andrew Bogut, these weren't always flashy names, but they became crucial pieces in championship runs. Cameron Johnson has that kind of potential. He may not have the name recognition of a superstar, but he has the exact traits Golden State needs. A high-level role player who plays winning basketball. In the coming weeks, fans should keep an eye on how quickly Johnson gets comfortable. It won't take long, his style of play is built for this system. Expect to see him making an impact in crunch time,